it saddens me that Paul Pogba never, and especially when we have this marketing right now with our new jersey, the Mancunian way. Yeah? What Mancunian way has he has? Has he have nothing? He has zero Mancunian values in him right now. It's the Paul Pogba brand, not the Manchester United brand. And sad to say, he has the wrong agent behind him because of that. Sad to say.
Okay, let's just all take it in for a moment. All right, calm down, calm down. Salam sejahtera and welcome to Jom United. We are a Malaysian Manchester United fan channel. Yes, dengan bangganya buatan Malaysia. Okay, if you're new to our channel, please smash the like button, click subscribe at the bottom right hand corner, and turn on the bell notification Smurf. Again, one more time. Hey, this sounds like selling ice cream, bro.
Yeah, sell ice cream lah.
So you'll be notified when we release a new video. Okay, and also feel free to join our Telegram group. Okay, link in the description below. Okay, we have a great United community going on, a lot of banter, a lot of fun. Okay, so if just say you're bored at home during this MCO, you can actually log on and have a chat with us. Okay, all right. So guys, what an exciting and big week it has been for a Manchester United fan. Okay, we're talking about 2 marquee signings done, complete. Okay, and then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer given a new contract. Okay, everything seems to be fine. I think most of us, we kind of like forgot about the Glazers out movement. Okay, so let me just check with Smurf. Okay, so what do you think about our transfer window so far? Okay, with people like John Murtough and Matt Judge. Okay, and some say Ed Woodward is still involved with the transfer window. What say you, bro?
I have no doubt that Ed Woodward is still behind the scenes because he is contracted. I mean, he will only leave us end of December. But for me, Murtough is doing a fine job. Though we lost Bellingham, Jude Bellingham last year, probably that was one of Murtaugh's first works when he probably failed to deliver to us. Yeah, we lost a big signing there. But nevertheless, he brought in Hannibal last season, who is basically a very potential player. And yeah, he took 2 seasons to bring us Sancho. Now Sancho is with us. And also Varane was pretty quick, but I was expecting it to be done and concluded before the Euros. But nevertheless, the bottom line, we still got Varane, and I'm happy with it. Therefore, for me, Murtough, he still needs to prove a little bit more signings because he's working closely with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And what I understand is Murtough is the person who will probably identify players. And the last final say would actually be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I hope that is going to be the case because nobody cuts cut Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and goes ahead signing such as what Woodward has did previously. Therefore, I think if that is the case, then we would do well in the signings, and hopefully at the end of the season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will deliver us some trophies and some cups, like what my buddy Jai would say, cup.
Piala, guys, piala.
Shout out to Jai. So do you think Smurf that this will actually affect the Glazers out movement that we were so passionate about?
As I mentioned previously, I mean, as a diehard United fan, you should know that this is probably a smoke screen. Okay, yes, we have not did 2 marquee signings in 1 season so far. I mean, for a very long time, not so far, for a very, very long time. Yes, and probably we might have 3 at the end of this season as well, hopefully, yeah. But nevertheless, for me, Glazers still out because, I mean, they're not just going to please us with signings. I mean, they still have to look into the fan base, the ticket price for the fans. They got to look at the condition of the stadiums, yes. And they got to improve the infrastructure and the facilities for players, not only for the men's. I mean, we are not, Manchester United is not only man football team. We have the women football team. We have lost Casey Stones, and we all know why she left. She has came out and she has stated her statement on why she left. And we have lost 1 or 2 good players from the women's team as well. Yeah, we have to look into all this. And for me, unless this is all improved, and of course, Glazers are not going to pocket that dividends every year, every annual, which they do, and serve our loan, I mean the loan, as quick as possible, pay off the debt, then yes, I would say Glazers, they are doing their best to actually win us back, but I don't think so it's going to go that direction. So don't forget, for me, I'm still a Glazer out to the end of the day, and yeah, I'm not going to change my mind on it unless they do something rapidly fast and impress the fans, I mean Manchester United fans all around the world.
Yeah. It has to be more than this one season. Again, like
No, it's not just two signings. I mean, yes, it's
exactly,
good
exactly.
signings, but it's not just two signings and you're going to be, Glazers are doing a fantastic job. They have spent 117 million in total just for one season on the signings. But do remember, guys, Sancho was supposed to be last season signing.
Correct. One good how to say transfer window does not make up for 16 years of crap by the Glazers. Okay, remember that, guys. Okay, so we move on to the next topic. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 3 years contract. Okay, the biggest Ole Gunnar skeptic. Okay, not the biggest lah. Okay, one of the top skeptics lah. Okay, Danny, what do you think about it?
Towards the end of last season, I said that I don't think he's going to win us a cup. His experience maybe is not enough. But now, having said that, I still stand by it. But since he got his new players in, he got his contract, like it or not, he's going to be our manager for the next 1 year. So I think in the best interest for the whole team, we have to back him up. Our players, our manager, we back them up. And I don't want this in 3 months, if he doesn't perform, he needs to go out or he's out by Christmas. Because there's nothing worse than having to do a job, knowing that every small mistake you make, you could be sacked the next week. It's stupid and it's ridiculous that we are going to put this type of negativity on the team, whether it's from the players or whatnot. We back them up and then we do a review at the end of the season, whether they went through or not. Having this Ole out, the players need to be dropped, everything has no benefits whatsoever. The Glazers are not going to listen to us. Nobody's going to be listening to us. This is what we have. And I think we should just go forward. And then let's see whether Ole changes my mind or not. I, as a United fan, I really hope Ole does well. The players do well. I think we are getting there. And just to add on Smurfs Glazers, yeah, they haven't done enough. But I think the healing needs to start. The club is quite damaged. The fans are angry. The players are in the middle. They have not done enough, but I think he needs to start somewhere. I think maybe they are going in the right direction. But if you don't see anything more than this, then I think it's about time Glazers go out. So that's what I think. But for now, I'm Ole in for this season.
Okay, with the players that the two signings that we already have, and then potentially there's another or maybe two more signings coming in. I think in this kind of situation, it's really, really hard for Ole Gunnar to actually fail, right, Ayrton? What do you think?
Honestly speaking, like looking at our squad as well, I mean, before these two players came in as well, I still don't think it's enough. We need more than just Varane and Jadon Sancho, because there's a lot of leakages that we can see that the players, even we saw our friendly with QPR, those fringe players are not good enough. Juan Mata is way off the pitch. Matic way off the pitch. You know, he'll be like probably he can play in the fringes of the championship maybe as well right now. So like Danny said just now, so we need to back him up. Whether he win or lose, you know, he's still a manager at the end of the day. Where I want the Glazers to come in also as well is not just for the transfers or so, you know, to look at United as a whole. The women's team, they have been training at the Cliff since its inception, and the Cliff is dilapidated to the core. You know, like they don't even have any money to do proper transfers. Their marquee signing, what's her name, the American girl that won the World Cup, only played like 11 games and then they shipped her off after that. And then who else is after that? There's no investment going into that side of Manchester United, because United is not just about the men's team. So like, you know, you look at our stadium, look at our women's side, you look at the investment that's going into all the aspects of it as well. If you say that the Glazers are moving into the right direction, I would say yes, but it's not a giant leap. I would say you know, like I'm still Glazer out at the end of the day. But coming back to Ole, I would say this should be his make or break season. I will not expect him to win the league. Don't get me wrong, but he needs to deliver the goods in the form of a trophy. Because if I would say if he can do that, next season I will expect the league title. If he delivers a trophy this season, next season league title, I'm okay with it. But if he doesn't win anything this season, I think that his head is on the chopping block already.
Okay, so let's move on to Jadon Sancho. Okay, the Jadon Sancho recently they actually announced his number. Okay, shockingly, it's number 25. Okay, we were expecting number 7, we were expecting number 16, some say. Okay, Pija, apa pendapat you tentang Jadon Sancho dengan number 25 yang dia ambil?
Pada pendapat saya is actually it's a good number lah. Actually kalau katakan kita tengok back in 1999, there's one fella from Inter Milan and they're wearing, because of he wants the number 9 tapi dia tak dapat, so they change it to like 8 plus 1 jadi 9 kan. So
Zamorano
mungkin Zamorano yes, I think that guy lah. Tapi that's all. But then if you want to look at the Sancho situation, is more like, I think it's a proper lah, like to let Cavani be that number 7 guy for the new season. So because of what he did for last season for us, right, with all the injuries yang kita ada, with all our goal scorer pun not really convert the goal, then I think it's a good, like orang kata, sign of respect from Jadon Sancho towards Cavani lah. Suddenly kalau dia datang tiba-tiba nak record number 7, then that shows like how disrespect lah towards Cavani. Plus the club doing good job, like giving 25. So who knows, maybe after Cavani dah ni, then he can get that number 7. So itulah. It's really like I really looking forward for Jadon Sancho lah. Tapi itulah. Hopefully he can do what we all have been hyping about. So 235 is yes. Come on, Jadon Sancho.
But speaking about all these numbers and stuff, I mean, players nowadays, it seems that they are really, really very affected by these kind of numerical kind of things. Instead of actually just putting their head down and just performing on the pitch. Maybe,
yeah, but itu macam previously kalau kita tengok players yang like maybe in the 90s, they don't really care about the numbers, because masa dulu kan kita tak ada that number ni, it's just a number kan. So from 1 until 11, number 1 is the goalkeeper, number 11 is the striker. But then now the situation has changed. Numbers ni can be like they are superstitious. Okay, I really need to go with the number 7 because with the number 7 I can perform. Look at what happened with Anthony Valencia and previously kan dia 35, and then suddenly in the 2012 he convert to 7.
It's so nice. I thought you're gonna mention Alexis Sanchez dengan Di
No.
Maria.
that is something we don't talk about. Sanchez, and then there's one more
we
snake.
don't talk about Sanchez.
I forgot the snake, the name.
Yes, we talk about our legend,
About the guy.
Anthony
Forget
Valencia,
about
our
it.
previous captain. So
But I think the numbers are also important because it's their brand. You have like a CR7, your R9. So I think probably that's why a lot of them want to have a.
and also don't forget Anthony Martial, AM9.
AM9. Yes, I was waiting for that only.
Danny, come on, Danny.
Itu famous sini saja.
So that's it lah.
Okay, let's talk a bit about our another marquee signing. Okay, Varane, because the rest of you guys weren't in the discussion when we had the breaking news that Varane actually, there was a here we go moment by Fabrizio Romano. Okay, the one that we announced the signing of Varane. Confirmed that he's coming to the team lah, basically lah, to United. Okay, so Syed, what do you think about Rafael Varane?
It's a very good signing. It's a great signing, I would say, because last season, like, scoring goals was not a problem for us. We were scoring a lot of goals. We were making assists. We have a lot of good players who can come in the absence of any injury. Our main issue was Lindelof last year, because he cannot, defend the set pieces. He cannot, track the ball.
But Jai cakap Lindelof dengan Varane lebih kurang sama saja. So I don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, I know what he said, but I would also agree to some extent, because on the ground Lindelof is not a bad player, but Lindelof's problem is on the air. He cannot clear the ball when the ball is in the air, for example, set pieces and corners. On the ball, I would not say they are equally, same player, but Lindelof on the ground is not a bad player. It's just like he cannot defend the ball when, clearing in the air. But,
how about physical wise? Even after the video by Coach Dom, the guy is still a cotton ball, man.
Yeah. So for example, like the one-on-one charges, for example, like he has to defend the ball and the ball is in the air, shoulder to shoulder, he cannot compete. He just go off and then let the ball in. But with Varane, I think we are getting more confidence on the pitch. We are getting more stability in the team. And as Sir Alex says, like defense wins you title. So for example, to win a title, to win a Premier League, your defense should be very strong. Even though you score 1-0, you win a match 1-0, you will get 3 points. If you win 5-0, you will still get 3 points. So defense is is the key to win titles, is the key to win like championship and also the Premier League. And with Varane has won like 4 Champions League. His nickname in the French squad is Champions League Varane. So all of his teammates, they call him Champions League Varane because he has won 4 Champions League. I mean, like more than a club, because we as a club, we have won 3 Champions League. Varane has won 4 Champions League. So in cup competition, I think he will bring his experience. He has won a lot. He has won World Cup as well with the French team. So we are getting an experienced player who is in the prime age, which is he's 28-year-old. He's not above 30. He's not less than 25. So we are getting a player in his prime time, and I'm hoping like best times to come. And especially he can partner with Maguire. And yeah, looking forward for him to to do all the clean sheets and win titles with us.
Okay.
Right. Sai, do you think that Varane will actually complement Maguire? We do understand that actually Varane is a much speedy player. He has space. All right, he's a bit more aggressive. He's better in the air compared to Lindelof. So, do you think that this will actually be a compliment to Maguire?
Yeah, because for example, like when Varane is playing in Real Madrid, Ramos is the guy who's very attack minded. He goes forward, he tackles. And if you see, like Maguire Maguire personality is not same as Sergio Ramos, but still Maguire loves to go forward. For example, he can play with Shaw on the left side. He always go forward.
Go forward just to pass the Shaw.
He only passes
Just to pass the Shaw. But still he goes forward. So if you compare Varane, he has an experience. He can handle a player such as Ramos, because Ramos is a player who's very aggressive. He will not follow any orders. He will not follow what manager has said to him. He's a like madman. He can just go forward and he do what he wants. So Varane is a Mr. Reliable. He can stick to the position and he will take care of the absence of the vacant position if Maguire is going forward. So if Maguire is going forward just to pass Shaw, then we will have Varane to to cover the both areas.
All right. Then one more question for Danny. So my question to Danny is very simple. Will Maguire make Varane look better, or will Varane make Maguire look better?
Both.
One more time.
Will Maguire make...
Hey, focus, Dave.
Yes, the same
Danny
thing,
looking
bro.
up to the Lord, no, asking what.
Oh, okay. So basically, Varane is bringing his experience. Of course, he's going to help Maguire. But I have to say, every signing you bring is not 100%. Sometimes the players is important is to have communication. So your partnership, like you see your Bruce Pallister, your Rio Vidic, even Cole and York, the communication between the two players is very important. The thing that we did not see, Lindelof is not a bad player, as you can see in Euros. But as in a partnership, you don't know whether you are ngam or not with each other. So yes, Varane coming is bringing a lot of his experience. He can help Maguire. Maguire can help him to deal with the physicality of the Premier League. But end of the day, we need to see whether this is a proper partnership or not.
Chemistry.
Chemistry.
Be a good okay. In terms of attributes, I think they will complement each other. In the sense that Varane is with pace. Maguire is basically a little slow on the ball, but he's a bit physical at times, which is good. So therefore, I think there will be a good chemistry between these two, hopefully. But now the next very important question: does Varane speak English? Because Maguire like Englishman. Like people who speak English.
But sorry.
There's no screw ups or anything, right? They can all understand each other. Japanese, Chinese, doesn't matter.
Hey, very important, English for Maguire is very important.
Don't matter.
English.
The thing is, if Tevez, Evra, and Bajisung could be friends without English, I really
We're not even
don't think.
talking to each other.
And like
Friends,
Pogba is still in United. I think he will let him settle in the dressing room. He is a French guy in the squad, hopefully.
Not one, but two. You always forget.
Oh yeah.
Another French guy.
Always forget that fella lah.
We still hope one more, which is Kamavinga. We hope Agent Pogba does something about it. And then
Agent P.
Pogba, Agent P, yes. So after that, his future in United, yes or no, that's up to him lah. I'm really looking forward for him to at least work out something for Kamavinga to United.
If we just now we talk about Varane, yeah, my biggest worry is that previously for the past 10 years at Real Madrid, he has been guided by someone like that statue of Sergio Ramos now. But then when he comes to United, I do think that I don't think that Maguire can be that Sergio Ramos type of guy yang okay Varane you go or Varane come back go fall back. I don't see that in Maguire. So plus in Real Madrid he has
kau tak dengar ke mas hari tu Maguire shouted at Marcus Rashford. Rashford!
English boleh lah.
But did you not see the Euros that Maguire actually did what he does best, delegate his job to John Stones? He was instructing John Stones all around, right?
Yeah, like,
And one time Lindelof also scolded Bruno Fernandes. If you guys remember, there was a
Some of them was speaking Portuguese.
I think
All I
that
could hear is
macam
the PP word.
Sevilla.
But to reply to Pijal, right? You see, like Barcelona, they had the problem of Puyol and Piqué. And Puyol was always the leader, not only of the whole team, also of Piqué. Then when he left, Piqué took over. Didn't do such a bad job, maybe not as good. So I think Varane would have had enough experience with Ramos. And just that, I hope he gets used to the pace and physicality of the EPL.
But you have to remember, in Real Madrid, Varane has Casemiro, which is like a very, very actual CDM that really like do
We
the
got
dirty
Fred,
job.
bro. Fred.
After signing will be coming.
we have Cartoon.
Nasib
signing
baik aku
Fred
belum minum air
Brazil.
lagi lah.
Bukan
Oh,
Fred
okay,
United.
okay. Casemiro and Fred is a friend. Okay, from Brazil. All right.
all United players for the start of the season will be equal, like I said. So we don't criticize any of them, including Marshall, including Lindelof. No, all equal.
Yeah.
Until they start playing the first game onwards, then we go after them. So for Fred, I think leave him for a while, but we still hope to get a better CDM in.
Yeah. But talking about Varane also, hopefully he didn't pick up one thing from Ramos, like his red cards. If that's the only thing I don't want Varane to pick up from Sergio Ramos, because if he comes here, he does all the flying tackles and knees, starts to knees, all that. No. That's the only thing. But other than that, I think he had I would say like playing alongside Ramos should have been a good school for him to actually to be a proper defender.
Okay, moving into the new season, I can see that everyone, actually majority United fans, we're all very excited, we're all very positive, you see. Okay, but one thing, if assuming whether the third signing comes in or not, okay, I think we are actually in a very good position, okay, but the situation now that most of us we are worried about is the Paul Pogba situation. Okay, for me personally, I have to bring this up. But please, before we start the next topic, please, no fights, no drama, okay? No, we are capping this at 30 minutes, okay? So no 1 hour video, okay? You see, if, for example, with with the two marquee signings that we have, if Paul Pogba leaves, it's as if we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. So it's like half bottom steam already, you see? So I'm not that happy already, you see? So, one interesting thing that I think, Ayrton, you actually said something in the group chat, the WhatsApp group. I think probably it's a very, you can actually share it with the audience, what you actually
Well, you see, all of us, let's say, we're all diehard United fans, and I take a lot of pride that Paul Pogba came through our academy. I mean, that's why I always like to put players from our history. 2 of these 3 players came from our academy, George Best and Bobby Charlton. George Best came in the 60s. Bobby Charlton was part of the Busby Babes era. And then look at the school that the schools of players that came through the academy line. Duncan Edwards, George Best, Bobby Charlton, the class of 92, we talk about Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, and then we have Mark Hughes also. We have so many players, And sadly, Paul Pogba doesn't fall into the equation when we speak about those players. Reason why I say that is because those players, when they were at the club and when they left the club, spoke so highly about the club. I love this football club. This club made me who I am. Not just instilled me the skills that I play for Man United, but instilled me the values of being a human being, basically, of what does it take to become a professional. I don't see that in Paul Pogba. I long for the day, he'll just turn around and say, you know what, United made me into a man. United made me into the player I am today. I love Manchester United. I love playing for United. I don't see that from Paul Pogba. Don't get me wrong. He's a talented boy. He's a talented player. Paul Pogba, on his day, is unplayable, world class, one of the best in the world. But I still feel he's in it for himself. That brand, that PP, his own logo, he's in it for that brand and not for Manchester United. It might not be his own doing. It might be his agent telling him, like, you know what, you're bigger than Manchester United. Hey, if Paul Pogba's brand is bigger than Manchester United, then David Beckham's brand could have been 10 times bigger than Manchester United. And yet, he went off and United survived. Paul Pogba leaves today, so United will survive. But where I'm coming from, what I'm trying to say is, but the frustrations that we gather from every United fan that you talk to, he never gave 100%. And yes, I'm not talking about, he didn't get the team around him, he didn't get the proper players to play with. I'm talking about playing for the badge. The only time that I've seen Pogba actually play for the badge is that 3-2 win against Man City for that 45 minutes. I can't really recall the last time he played that well. I'm serious. I seriously cannot recall. And yeah, I'm talking about the United values. Paul Pogba if he just comes around and says, I value this football team, it'll make a hell of a difference to every one of us in this chat right now and every millions United fans around the world. Because hey, we will always, then we can finally say, you know what, he's one of us. He is our player. Because I don't think we can say that right now. If Paul Pogba leaves today and goes to PSG or wherever the hell he wants to go to, we will not look at his time back fondly. He will be known as an $80 million waste of money. Sadly, that's the case. I don't know what else to add to this, because I'll always look fondly among all of our academy graduates. I'm a sucker for that. I'm serious. Even when I play Football Manager, so I always try to blood the young players in. And Paul Pogba, a player from our academy, from that 2011 FA Youth Cup, the team that had Ravel Morrison, Jesse Lingard, himself, who else was in that squad also? I call the Will Keane and stuff. He wasn't the best player in the team. The best player in the team was still Ravel Morrison, but that's a story for another day. And it saddens me that Paul Pogba never, and especially when we have this marketing right now with our new jersey, the Mancunian way. What Mancunian way has he? He have nothing. He has zero Mancunian values in him right now. It's the Paul Pogba brand, not the Manchester United brand. And sad to say, he has the wrong agent behind him because of that. Sad to say.
Okay, let's just all take it in for a moment. All right, calm down. Okay, I'm going to point this to our French ambassador, Paul Pogba, #1 fan. No one else. Said, Paul Pogba, #1 fan. Okay, guys. Yeah. Said, what are you going to say about that?
A lot of things. Like I didn't say, I would agree. Like, coming from the academy, it doesn't feel like the same breed as like Neville brothers, Scholes, Keane. Keane is not, but maybe like David Beckham. But like, big players always want to leave. They have their ambition. Maybe Pogba has an ambition where he wants to win trophies. He demands trophies. But when you say like Pogba, has he said something wrong about the club? Because I haven't seen any quote of Paul Pogba saying bad about the club.
He hasn't said anything right.
Good about the club.
Yeah. So he didn't say anything bad or anything good. It's just like the media, the hype over Pogba, because Pogba is a guy. Pogba is a player who is like who's like darling for all the journalists, because they want to sell their tweets, they want to sell their news. He's always on the spotlight, but obviously for all the bad reasons. Because I would agree, like he's more of a brand of himself, like PP and like all those things. Even Lingard or other players, they also have their own brands. Cristiano has a brand, or Neymar has a brand. Maybe these players like Neymar, Ronaldo, they don't put on their Twitter bio, or they don't put on their Instagram account that they play for this club. Players like Bruno Fernandes, they are different breed of players. They show their brand is the identity of Manchester United. But players like Paul Pogba, they think they have a brand of himself. But talking about, I think I never saw any quote or any interview where Pogba said like, I don't like Manchester United. He would not say, obviously, because he's a part of the club, but he didn't say anything bad. You are right. David Beckham.
He might not say anything bad, but he's bloody agent has lah. Let's put it that way lah.
Yeah.
And has he defended United not from what the agent has said?
Not only the agent but his brother as well. Not only
His
the
brother
agent,
as well.
his brother as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is like I mean, I also hate his manager. I don't like the way his brother comes into and speak on behalf of him. He should speak in front of like the camera by himself. Like, I want to stay in this club. We're all waiting for this statement. He should
That's
say.
what we are waiting for.
Me as a number one Pogba fan, as you know, like I also like always want Pogba to come and say like, I want to stay in this club, so that like we can all own like we have a player who really wants to play for us. But on the pitch, I would say like he always gave his best. Players always have their ups and downs. Bruno also have some off days. Pogba also have his off days. I never see, for example, Pogba doesn't want to pass the ball, or he said, okay, like asking manager, okay, put me off. I don't want to play. He's a leader on the ground, and he's leader on the pitch, off the pitch as well. In the dressing room, he's a very big figure. If you listen to like Rio Ferdinand, he also said like he's a guy who always put 100% in the training. Even Rooney said, I think 1 month ago, he also said like he's the guy. Maybe he's celebrating his haircut and everything, but when it comes to training, he always gives his best. So I mean, there are some good things and bad things, but yeah, his agent sucks. I think he needs to sack his agent, so that like all this topic should be gone.
Can I just add something, Shed? You said he never said anything bad. His agent says something bad.
Yeah.
He comes from United.
Yeah.
Cavani joined us as a last paycheck in the late of his career. His father says, I want you to go to Boca. Immediately the next day he can tell on Instagram.
Yeah.
You want to talk about being professional? That's professional. You respect the team you're playing for now. You say the journalists like to write about Pogba. If there's no smoke, if got no fire. Correct? No fire, no smoke.
I know lah.
Like, but y'all understand what I mean, right?
Kau tak bergoyang lah, kau tak ada angin.
I just want to add one thing. Okay, Danny, go ahead. You finish first, Danny. I don't want to interrupt you.
So like the journalists are getting free food, rezeki jangan ditolak. If he's out, you know why fans don't complain Mata is getting a new contract even though he's not playing. When he plays, when he plays, we can see he's 100% for the club. Maybe you're not the best performer, but he's there, he's present, he's doing it, he does anything. Why we feel sad when Romero didn't play that much, but when he's there, he perform. He don't complain. United fans are the biggest suckers in the world. It doesn't take much to convince us to support you.
Yes, it's true.
Really?
It's true.
It's not that hard. So to be split 50-50 for someone you say who's a leader on the pitch, it's a bit shaky. I feel the comment. Like, I'm not criticizing him, but I'm just saying from the point of view.
But for example, like with the last game of Manchester United who played, like they played final of Europa League against Villarreal. If you remember his first half performance, for me, the way I saw the match, he was the leader on the pitch. He was the one who was anchoring the midfield at that time. Bruno had a really bad game. McTominay was good. And Pogba was good as well because he was staying behind. Even McTominay was playing ahead, and the Pogba was like just before our defender, and he was controlling the game. But second half he got subbed off, and then before the penalty shootout, he was the one who was leading the hurdle. He was the one who was guiding and motivating. Okay, now we have a penalty, we go for it. The same thing we also saw in France before the penalty shootout. He was the middle of the hurdle where he was motivating all the players before the penalty shootout.
But
we saw the same thing.
If he's a leader, you shouldn't be or he's this good, you wouldn't be saying, you remember the one half of that final that we played, you'll be saying something like the first 6 months of this season, the whole of 17 and 18 season, things like that you'll be saying. But he performs so in stages that now you can pick out, he played the first half of the final and he chose the penalty. See, even you can pick out only the parts that it's not a general thing like, okay, the first 6 months.
He was subbed off, I think, in 68 minutes. He was subbed off.
Then take a look at the way he played against Manchester City, like who mentioned earlier, 3-2. I mean, yes, I would agree with you. He was the superstar of the team in the first half, first 45 minutes. But I believe he played longer than that. He did play in the second half and he just went missing MIA. So this is not basically, I mean, we need players who are talented, who are basically consistent, good. I mean, Pogba is at the age where he should be a leader to the younger generation of the team. And I'm just sad to say that no, for Manchester United, he is not a leader. But probably in France, he might be. I've seen it in the Euros, but not in Manchester United.
But why? But why you think he's not a leader at Manchester United? I mean, any particular?
Does he instill the values that came before him? All the other academy players, Kingsley, Scholesy, Bex.
Guys, one thing, right? I think Paul Pogba, his personality, he himself is a fun-going person. Okay, I don't think I'm not being negative. I don't think he has a character to be a leader. A leader, if you're talking like someone like a Roy Keane or one. In fact, in our squad right now, we don't have one particular person. Okay, maybe Bruno is slowly stepping up. Someone like a Bruno that actually gives you the aura that he is the leader. Yeah. Paul Pogba is more of like someone who is having fun playing the game. I don't think he's someone that should be a leader, who could be a leader, I think.
Example on the pitch and off the pitch, I think basically he is lacking in that in Manchester United. If you want to say about leadership out the door, fine. But good example on and off the pitch is definitely no. I mean, look at one for off the pitch here, like what Danny have actually said earlier. Cavani came out the next day. Yeah, we are all in a digital era these days. I mean, it's not hard to reach out to your fans. It's not hard to reach out to the public. So, I mean, why can't you just come out on your Instagram, take control on your Instagram instead of your PR people doing it for you or so on, and come out and say, yes, look, I want to be in Manchester United. This is the club I want to be in. I want to be playing my football here and probably end my contract here and look forward to a new contract. Well, even you talk about the contract signing at the current moment. Contract signing is taking so long. So what's basically happening? Because if he wants to be a Manchester United player and he has love for the patch and wants to play for the patch only that way, I believe that this negotiation would have been done. He would have basically signed for United already by now, and not leaving it for still in discussion because of salary purpose or whatsoever the purpose might be.
Okay, just to add on to what Smurf said, okay, I think the issue with Paul Pogba is not what he said, is what he didn't say. Okay, like for example, I think there's a situation whereby
he needed to come up and say
and give a statement, and then he actually came up immediately to I forgot what it was about, but then he actually came up and rectified the situation. Okay, so a quick question, Syed. Okay, with the signings that we have, okay, Jadon Sancho and also Raphael Varane, who is also a fellow French, okay, will this actually maybe influence Paul Pogba in a way to actually maybe the team is getting better, the team is getting stronger. I see a potential here for the team to actually progress compared to the past few years when we were rebuilding. Now somehow we are still rebuilding, but we can see where we're actually heading to. So maybe do you think that he will actually commit and he will actually sign a new contract and stay here and actually perform for Manchester United side?
I think you're right, because if this doesn't influence Paul Pogba to stay, then I don't think anybody could influence Paul Pogba to stay, because there's a French colleague in the squad who's at the back of you. If you make a mistake, if you lose your possession, you know, like Varane is there and Maguire is also in the form who would cover for me. So if this doesn't excite him, if this doesn't influence him, then I don't think anybody would come and would influence him. I don't think like we will we will sign Zidane or maybe like a very big signing so that he will say, okay, now I'm gonna stay. But with Varane, with Sancho, or hopefully a new CDM along with him, then I think should be sufficient for him to be influenced to stay here. If that doesn't influence him, then I don't think he should stay here, because now you're out of excuses. Now you're out of any complaints. You have a good squad. You have a promising squad. Manager also, the good thing about this stage now is it's not a Jose Mourinho era. It's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get along with Paul Pogba very well. He has covered Paul Pogba many times. Even, for example, after the last match, he said like the conversation is good and he's looking forward to play for the new season. So when you have a manager like this who can motivate you, who is with you in all your bad times and good times, then I think this should influence him to stay. If that doesn't influence, then I think we should let him go.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Actually, it's not only for Paul Pogba. I think even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, people like, okay, Anthony Martial, okay, players like this, they have to perform next season. Okay, and then for me personally, top 3, top 4 is not good enough. We have to challenge for the title. We don't win it, but we have to show progression. This is the next step that we have to actually perform as a proper club, a football club. Okay, so just to wrap things up, guys. Okay, so what do you think is next for Manchester United? 2 marquee signings so far. What should we do next, Smurf?
Should actually bring in a CDM. Defensive midfielder is definitely what many fans are crying out for. A reputable defensive midfielder, somebody who is reliable and proven. So I think yes, this is the position we need to look to for now. And after that, you can get in a talented youth for all we care and groom that guy. Because the most important is one more signing for me is the CDM, is the defensive midfielder position. And after that, you want to go and get a new striker or a new flanker who is probably 16, 17 years old and groom the guy to be the next CR7 or so on. It doesn't really matter to us. So one more CDM for me.
Okay, Pijak, macam mana dengan kamu? Apa seterusnya, langkah seterusnya untuk Manchester United?
I think for if you ask me about next season, it's just that challenge for the title and at least win one trophy. That's the minimum lah for me. Because we if kita previously we have an excuse. We say that the board doesn't support manager those kind of things. So but then this season the board has support. At least the type of player yang memang kita rasa United perlu dan kita rasa Ole nak player tu. So for this season no excuse for Ole lah. Go for at least one title, maybe I don't know, FA Cup or even League Cup. But then challenge for the title lah. That's the most important thing lah for me for next season.
Okay, Ayrton, how about you?
Well, I echo what both the guys say. So we have to challenge for the title. We have to mount a serious challenge, not flame out after January, like what happened last season. Mount a serious title challenge, win a trophy, progress well in the Champions League as well. And in terms in signings as well, like what Smurf says, we need a proper defensive midfielder, a striker. We should go for it next season. I think Erling Haaland should be available next season. We should go for that. But also we need to show improvements in the squad lah. That's all I can say. Once we get a CDM, striker is secondary first, but we need to get a proper CDM.
Okay, Danny, how about you?
Actually, I just wish last season was a bit toxic with the Glazers out, Ole out and whatnot. I really hope the fans, we just back the whole season lah. Win or lose, we do it together, but let's go till the end of the season. And then for signings, if we don't get CDM, don't get angry, but I'm inclined for Fred to do the job individually. Either Fred or McTominay. We just need somebody to break up play. So you don't need a very smart flair. And probably a backup striker lah.
Striker, we got more than enough already. The forward, I mean,
I mean a backup number 9 lah. Someone like Cavani. Just in case, I don't think he's going to last
have Martial.
all the games.
What about Martial?
Martial.
All these smart bunga coming from outside, inside, and going. Don't have the one guy to.
But you have number 9, Martial.
Yeah, Masa number 9. Okay,
You just said the number not important. Now why are you talking about number 9?
we're running out of time. Syed. What do you think? Okay, and also just to add on, like the French connection. Okay, the French connection. We have the French connection. What do you think that Manchester United should do next? And then how that now we have really a proper French connection, how you actually carry the team?
I think we should go for CDM. I would say ideal signing would be Kamavinga. And not only a CDM, but the most important thing is to get rid of double pivot, play 4-3-3, and then use one CDM. So that 2 midfielder can contribute more, in the forward pitch. Not like just sit down and, pass ball side by side. We need forward passing CDM. So one CDM, 4-3-3, that should be, I think, good enough for Ole to start the charge for the title.
Okay, so we are at the end of the episode. So what do you guys think? Manchester United 2021-2022, what are your hopes? What are your aspirations? Leave your comments below. Okay, whether Paul Pogba should stay or should go. What do you guys think? Okay, Anthony Martial to score more than 20 goals? Yes, definitely.
French connection.
As long as they play for the batch, it doesn't matter stay or go or whatsoever. I just want 11 on the pitch and the ones on the bench who are going to come in to play for the batch and to fight for the batch. Give a good challenge to the other opponents.
Okay, like, subscribe, share this video. We'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.